This clip we want to use just as a review if you are going to be the sound tech for a regular service and you want to review now, see what all do I need to do to be sound tech today. We're going to go through that now. So you open up the sound board, you open up the lid, and walk us through it, Tom.
So what you need to do is first you hit switch 1, turn it on, wait a couple seconds, and then you can go straight to switch 4 to turn on the. You don't need 2 and 3. That's for the light underneath there, and then the fan on the side of the box.
You could turn on 2 and 3 if you want.
If you wanted to, yeah.
Okay. Then what? We watch it boot up.
Yeah, you wait for it to boot up. Takes a couple seconds, maybe a minute.
You don't want to adjust any settings at this point because
if you touch it, you'll burn out the actual motors. Yeah, because it's holding everything down at 0.
Okay.
While it boots up.
You don't want to turn on the stuff up front either with the remote because it'll pop.
You'll get a pop. Yep. So now that the menu has appeared and these sliders have went up to different positions, then you can take the remote and you turn on the system and the red light turns on there. That's how you know that the front amp is on.
Okay.
So now all you need to do is you should be good to go right off the bat here. Now if you want, you can go to the cue list and you can select default and you're good to go.
Then, okay, after the announcements, we have the first hymn.
Yep.
What do I do?
All you have to do is push next.
Just push next.
Just push
Now, if
push
I don't want to
next.
push next, can I just select from the queue?
Yeah, so if you're still on default, then you can take the wheel and you scroll down so the gray bar selects it and you just push the button.
Okay. So the hymn is over and the pastor's going to do liturgy. What do I go to next?
You hold Alt, so it lights up, and then next.
Couldn't we just use the scroll knob again?
Yes, you can do whatever you want. Whatever you're comfortable with. So if you want to manually scroll and do it by hand like that and push it, then that's great. Or because the cues are right next to each other in the list, you can do next and previous.
So the next thing is going to be the readings. Is there a setting for the readings?
Nope, it will just be the same as default because you're not.
So after the hymn, you'd go back to default.
After the hymn, you go back to default. Yep.
What if there's a baptism?
If there's a baptism, same thing.
Just stay on default.
Same as default. If you want, you can go to him. If you want the congregation mic, if you want when the sponsors say their thing, you can you can go to him because that just turns up the congregation mic so you can hear the sponsors.
So during the hymn, the pastor's mic is still up too.
Yeah, because we don't touch that. We only set levels for pastors. We don't touch it, turn it on or off or set levels or anything. Okay. Because if we forget to turn it back after the hymn, then it doesn't affect anything really.
Got it. Okay. So now there's the sermon hymn, but then comes the sermon. Is there a cue for the sermon?
Yep.
Just use the scroll.
Yep. Okay. So during the sermon hymn, you would have hymn selected, and then during the sermon, you just scroll down. So the gray bar highlights sermon, and then you push the scroll wheel. Okay. And because it turns green, that means it's active.
After the sermon, then you just go back to default?
Yep. Then you just go back up, scroll back up to default, hit it.
What about during the communion liturgy? Just default?
Just default.
Is there any setting for distribution? I suppose for distribution and communion, you'd use the hymn setting because they're singing.
Because they're singing, yep.
What happens if in the middle of this you've got a choir anthem or a bell anthem?
If the choir is singing, then you scroll down to choir and you just hit choir, and it turns on the speakers, the black speakers in the back, and it turns on the mics, and it sets the levels for the video and everything, and you're ready to go.
Oh, wow.
And same for bells. All you have to do is just hit it, and as soon as you touch it, as soon as it goes green, you're live.
It's working. Once it goes green, it's working.
Once it goes green, it's coming out of the black speakers, yes.
So there's also one for bells and choir.
Yeah, so if the bells and choir are playing together, all you have to do is touch it, and it goes.
And then the default at the bottom is the same as the default at the top. It's just so that it's nearby.
Yes, so it's just so it's nearby, but it's also a buffer because if you're using the next buttons and you go past it, you don't want to accidentally go to They kill everything.
Kill everything. And kill everything basically turns all the volumes down and off.
Turns everything
Got
off.
crazy feedback or whatever.
Yep, it's an emergency kill switch.
Wow, that's cool. So really, that's all I would need to do to run a church service.
Yep, that's all you need to do for a basic church service. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if ever there's these things should get erased, can we back it up to a thumb drive or something?
Yeah, that's what these USB ports are for.
Okay. So let's just plan. We'll have it backed up on a thumb drive, and it'll be in the church. Probably the church vault would be the best place. The fire vault.
Probably keep 2 copies of a thumb drive,
Okay.
one in the vault, and then we can keep one over here by the computer.
Okay. Okay. Good. So if ever it dies and you're not around, or somebody who can set all the cues. All right. Can we add more, or are they all filled up now?
No, you can add as many as you want.
So we could create cues for anything that we've forgotten thus far.
You can have 999 different queues.
Wow. Thanks.
Yep.